Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
We'll see how much of that is left in. Right when I'll start it right as the light goes on and see how much trouble I just got myself in. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with and the Beard. Dimples and the Beard. I misspoke.
The tavern's already open.
Tavern's open. It's too late to take that out. I'll just have to. Whoop.
I mean, once the tavern's open, it's open.
Yeah, I know. You can't edit anything out once the red light goes on. We're recording, and it's all good.
That's all.
It all stays.
How else do you know when to be start, stop?
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. That when that light goes on, I go in. I'm like this before the light goes on.
And then
true professionals in the house.
That's because one of the wires is hooked up to his ass, and when I turn the light on,
that'd be fantastic. We got another legend tonight. Jacqui Childs.
Jackie Chan?
Nope. Better.
You told me.
Better.
You're right, it is better.
It's much better.
You're right.
I mean, Jackie Chan would probably win in a karate match.
Not against
me. Against you, yes.
No.
Against our guest, Jacqui
Probably
Childs. Not. But maybe not. I don't know. Well, I'll have to ask her if she's got mad.
She's got
karate.
She's got mad pole skills.
Mad pole skills, but not mad dancing skills from what she said. Well, I don't want to. I've never seen either. So
you can master the pole. You don't need to dance.
I don't know.
I think pull. Get my money. Pull. Goodbye.
Here's the thing: when you're as hot as Jacqui Childs, you can. Yes.
You don't need to dance.
When you're the strippers from fucking down the road from us, you better learn to dance a little bit.
I don't. What?
Is it? Or what's it called?
Absolutely, but I fully support that place, and I
don't. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying when you don't.
And I've never said a bad word about the place.
I've said a lot of bad words about the place, and I'll continue to say bad words about the place, Marvin. Anyway.
Yeah, Marvin.
Yeah, I bet Marvin's not even there anymore. I have that feeling because I don't know why we wouldn't be doing ads for them if he was still there.
Marvin would have got us in.
Until you got kicked out, I think we were golden.
Wait. We never said where.
We established you got kicked out.
Of somewhere.
No.
You don't know where. Maybe it was a McDonald's.
Oh, that's right. I did beep it out every single time.
Maybe it was.
Oh, now I got to edit.
Just a simple Chuck E. Cheese.
Now I got to edit it out of this one every time. That's going to be tough. How many times did we say?
You said quite a bit.
All right. Well, I can edit.
Before or after.
Riverside is the best for editing. You can just highlight. I get the transcript. I can just highlight the words and say mute, and then it doesn't say the word.
Oh, there you go.
I know. It is beautiful. So Riverside, 2 thumbs up.
A lot of muting on this one.
There might be. I don't know.
Early on, especially if you start from the minute we started recording.
Oh my God, we should. I should just start from the minute we started recording and just
bleep, bleep, bleep,
see how much dead air there is.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
That'd either be great or terrible. But that's what I always say. Give me an A or give me an F, right?
And away we go. We are A strong.
Anyway.
Well, there you have it. And with that.
Another wonderful intro for poor unsuspecting guest. We really need to start.
Reach out to their friends. Hey, everybody go watch my thing. Just fast forward.
Don't watch the first 10. Oh, my God.
Just fast forward.
Sorry, Jacqui Childs.
10 minutes. Just fast forward till you see me pop up.
Yeah.
That's how everybody tells her family about
to be fair, again, I witness, I see the analytics for our episodes, and we do have the pre-guest curve. So every episode has the pre-guest curve. So we know you're not watching us, so we're safe.
See, I like to think of it as you do that, and I just think of it in the opposite direction.
Oh, it's not.
That's my little fairy tale world.
It's not. But the good news is, like, only of all the people that go to watch one of our episodes, only like 5 to 10% watch what we do, and then they 90% tune back in for the guest, and then it stays right at like 90 throughout, and then
I guess that's
so we're safe.
All right.
There's like 10% of the people that have ever watched this podcast, so the 4 or 5 billion people that have watched, only 10% have seen us say,
and half of them can't read and write. So
all right. finish her up.
So you know what? Let's get serious for a moment.
We weren't.
We really appreciate you guys coming on and leaving a comment. Follow us, YouTube, Instagram, X. Leave a comment anywhere you want, and we will respond. Appreciate it. Thank you. Back to our normally scheduled programming.
Don't forget to say the other part.
We don't want to keep a pretty lady waiting.
That's right. You'd think we'd be better rehearsed. We've done 250 of these now. So without further ado, Jacqui Childs.
Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us, Jacqui Childs. This is exciting. We've kind of dubbed this Legend Week. We had Carolyn Hennessy on last night, who's kind of a legendary character actor who's done just a million things, and over the course of her career. And you're kind of the same. You've been around for a while and done a lot of things, and even more than I knew when we first asked you to come on. So thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And that's where we go. So how did your journey start? What came first? The modeling, the naked news, the
modeling, like acting, modeling, that sort of stuff started when I was around 3 or 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I took a hiatus. I was married before, took 15 years off, got married, had 2 kids, got divorced. And then my current husband, who's my boyfriend at the time, my current husband, he started entering me again, like in all kinds of things, like for Toronto Sunshine Girl. And he filled out a thing and sent in a portfolio to the Naked News. And that's how that, like, I didn't even know he did that. Because
well, that's a good husband.
Because if they didn't want me, I would be upset. So he did it without me knowing. And then
he knows you. That's how well he knows you.
Very well. So he just, when we got together, we talked about like was our other relationships lacking? What was going on? Why did it not work out? And I just think I'd always been modeling and acting my whole life. And I'd always been sort of a performer and that sort of thing. And I wasn't allowed to during that marriage. It was a real traditional Catholic Italian marriage. And I stayed home and I ran a daycare.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Fun.
And I never cut my hair and I never had tattoos and I never smoked weed and I never, it was just a whole different thing for 15 years. And then I got with my current husband, who then became my manager, and just started applying for things, and I was getting everything. And when I went on Naked News, they had recently done a poll for their long-time audience and stuff, to say what was the show missing, what could they do different, and they said a more mature anchor. So all the girls were in their 20s, late 20s, early 20s, and I was in my late 30s at the time. I auditioned. They had a bunch of auditions that week. And during my audition, right when I finished, the producer asked me to come in and asked if I wanted to work for Naked News, and also told me they had never done that in the history of Naked News. It was always sort of like a shtick to have like fresh meat. They would do, and so they were going to do like a poll, and they were going to do some whatever, and they were going to have all kinds of girls from all over the place audition and do this big thing, and they really liked me, and I got hired. Wow. And then I was very difficult to work with.
Honesty is the best policy.
Everyone was so scared of the producers and the owner and everything, and I wasn't at all. So I ended up sort of writing, directing, producing my own spots, doing my own things for a couple of years. And during that time, my social media blew up. It went from like 700 to 7,000. I got that blue check. I got verified around 7,000. I was traveling a lot, doing all kinds of magazine stuff, talking about Naked News. So then Naked News gave me my real name, because there's a thing at Naked News where they're all fake names. Everyone's got a fake persona and a fake name, and you're from a fake place. And they do that, which no one digs into except for me, why I'm difficult to work with, is so they can own you. They can own all your content. They can own all your material. They can own everything that you've ever done as long as you're doing it. So for a long time, I was guest anchor. Then I was Melissa, which the producer just gave me, which isn't my name at all. Then I went on and they let me speak to the audience and say that my name, which is a lie, they said my name was Jacqui Melissa Childs. And I went with Melissa for my family's sake, which my name is not Jacqui Melissa Childs. So,
Here I believed it all along.
Yeah,
God damn it, they got me.
so and then life, I mean, I was getting older and older and older. Life happens. I mean, we age, there's nothing you can do about it. And I didn't really feel like it was for me anymore. I didn't feel that I was giving what the show needed anymore. They were kind of going in a more hardcore, more a lot like now they have like porn people
Yeah.
and escorts and all that kind of shit. And I wasn't that. So it was a good time to part ways. Then I started doing social media for them, and I would still travel with them to Mexico and Jamaica and wherever they went and do all their social media stuff and still be their on camera person through social media.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm still taking the trips, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm still going to be difficult while we're there.
So how did you last so long when you were? Is that just your thoughts that you were difficult?
You know what? It's just my thoughts because the owners, the producer, the lawyer, I'm really good friends with them to this day. Like we still hang out, we still do things, we do family things. Like so that's just me. I ask a lot of questions. I'm naturally a really curious person. I like to do research. There's just I thought there was a lot of things missing from Naked News, and I was constantly trying to get them to do it, which they always ended up doing. I never got any credit for it, but they did end up doing it. And like I thought it was weird to have this different persona, Melissa, when I'm on all these international magazines as Jacqui Childs, and it says naked Canadian news host Jacqui Childs. So they weren't capitalizing. They weren't using any of that. So meanwhile, my social media was blowing up. Like you could just hit the refresh and it would be like 10, 20, 30, like more fall. It was crazy. I used to get the camera guys to do it all the time. I'm like, refresh it. And they were like, holy shit. And I'm like, why aren't we using this?
Yeah.
Like now that people, like you guys are lucky people are, me talking to them, you're still lucky people are paying for this. Like you can get this free everywhere. Like you guys got to make this shift to social media
Right.
and like use this influencer, like this person so that was why I would say we were difficult because I was difficult. We had those talks so often and it was hard because the owner, Peter, who was a lovely man, but he was in his late 70s, early 80s. And he also originally, you couldn't have tattoos. You couldn't have colored hair. You couldn't sorry, my puppy is growling.
Oh, that's all right. We love that. We love dog cameos.
Okay, well, he's insisting and he tries to help me all the time.
They're not shy to the camera, I believe.
No, mine are not. So anyhow, Naked News was fabulous. I had a great time. I have tons of amazing memories traveling the world, doing the stuff with the girls. It was really, really fun. And I'm still friends with all of them, even like the ones that have all parted ways and gone on to other things and whatever. It's all of them to this day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really glad. It was and it led to tons of other things.
Yeah.
I would imagine,
sure.
yeah. Now, before getting naked for the news, did you model naked before that, or was that your first time being exposed?
I was modeling. I was doing magazines and stuff. Yeah, I had done a lot of magazines when I was, I think, 23, 22. My husband has them all, Genesis and Gallery and all those magazines.
Mhm.
They used to pay $10,000 for a half a day's work. Like, gone are those 10,000 American.
That's right.
Like, that's
you're
real
north
money.
of the border.
So that was what I did in my 20s. I was a dancer. I wasn't a dancer. I don't know why I just told you that. I was a stripper. I never danced in my life. I stripped. I can't
but you
dance.
very good on the pole?
No, I would just lean on it and I don't know, and like give people dirty looks. I don't know. It worked for years.
You were up stripping and being difficult is what I'm hearing.
So even then, even when I was dancing, I was always really good friends with the owners. I babysat their kids. I went to their weddings. I was always this weird anomaly in these sort of situations. Like I was never that girl.
Yeah.
It was so funny. funny. And that's why I don't have any horror stories. I don't have any weird drama. I don't have any creepy situations. I've never had anything that I was like, it's an unfortunate story or anything in any of these atmospheres at all.
Yeah.
They knew better than to mess with you.
They knew better to mess with me. I don't know. I think maybe I scared everyone. I don't know. I'm very forward. I'm really in your face. Like I said, I ask a lot of questions. I'm not generally uneasy in any situations. That's what sort of led me to the cannabis space for the last bunch of years. I mean, I can work with thugs, gangsters, drug addicts,
Yeah.
drug dealers. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I was fine with it all.
Well, it seemed to serve you well.
It certainly throws people off when you ask a lot of questions that need to be asked. Most people are used to people that are just like, do what they're told, and you've got the information you need. So when people start asking real questions, a lot of people get uncomfortable in a hurry.
For sure. I mean, when I had a podcast for several years in the cannabis space, and we had now a gentleman, used to be a female, a woman. I don't know if we're still acknowledging that in this new era, but
I think it just got signed away in our country. I'm pretty sure.
Anyhow, I had that person come out on our show and they were really comfortable with it, and they were a CEO of one company, they became a CEO of another, and they had sort of been just like on doing Zoom but without the camera. They'd been going through the whole thing. They changed their name, the whole thing. And then they came out on my podcast, and we told their whole story and how it all went. And they said that they were so comfortable with me.
Now, did you know it was going to happen before the podcast?
Yes.
Okay. That's what you kind of want to know a little
well,
bit.
I had to prepare, because as much as I do ask questions, I do say a lot of stupid shit. And I'm not politically correct. I say a lot of bullshit all the time. I think about things afterwards and go, oh my God, did I just tell them? I'm not even going to say what I thought.
Oh, no, go ahead. We're fine with it.
Because I've done some interviews that I'm hoping disappear. So I modeled, kid stuff, whatever, then became a dancer, then I did some like movie extra stuff and some acting when I was young, then the stripping thing, then got married, had kids, then did some modeling again, some like, I would travel around like New York and stuff, well, Mexico, wherever, Tulum and stuff, and do nude modeling, bikini modeling. Got Naked News. Then from Naked News, I started interviewing bands. I was in some music videos.
Oh, cool.
Then after that, cannabis. And that was a whole other kind of bullshit. But Jesus Christ.
Now, did you get...
I thought that was a good switch.
Did you... So was it late in life when you started using cannabis, or when you got into more of
No, it was really late in life. My husband's a huge stoner. His family's all from California. They're all big stoners, growers and whatever. And I have Crohn's disease. So my in-laws were always trying to get me to try CBD. They're always trying to get me to smoke some weed before bed, or always like before a big whatever, just to try and help with the Crohn's, because statistics show and studies show that that's really helpful for Crohn's.
Okay.
And so they were constantly sending me links and things to try and get me to try it. So I did, and it worked. And I started talking about it on social media.
Yeah.
And that's how that became. They're like, okay, she doesn't have dreads. She's not doing bong rips. She's talking about cannabis.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened.
So what about year was that you started talking about it?
2017. It was the year before legalization.
Okay.
So the year before,
so it was earlier.
The year before Canada legalized was the year that I started talking about it and posting about it. And it was crazy because Canada was getting ready. They were getting ready to legalize. So I was getting sent like PR packages, and I was getting flown everywhere to talk about how you can use cannabis to, help your health or enhance your sex life or for longevity purposes and all this. And it was so weird. And it was fascinating to me because I'm not a stoner at the time. And then I got really involved in it. I did lots of research. I started to become investor in a lot of companies, and not like I wasn't just their brand ambassador, but I was also part owners, and like it was really cool. It was really really went to a lot of labs and like learned the science behind cannabis and how they what
Cool.
they do with it, and it was really fun. And it was just it's 2 years now, or almost 2 years, that I've been out of public. I still work behind the scenes. I work in social media for a lot of companies. I do some marketing and some branding for some people behind the scenes, but I don't want any more public stuff. It's a fucking train wreck.
I'm curious what you mean by that. What?
Okay, you know what I mean by that, which is weird. I would rather go back to like the porn and sex industry and like AVNs all day long than go back to the cannabis industry.
Really?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a
that's not what I expected.
it's a mess. It is
Yeah.
a mess. And dirty like backdoor deals and all kinds of bullshit, and the government is so involved, and they change the language and the wording day by day, so all your advertising and all your stuff that you did is then garbage, and they raise the taxes and excise taxes, and it's so government regulated and controlled. You can't talk about it on social media. It's all like it falls within all kinds of compliance and stuff. It's just bullshit. And a good portion of the people in the industry, they're either from the legacy market, so they're criminals for the most part. God love them. Or, I mean, I mean, I'm not saying much about myself. I mean, Jesus, scroll my social media. I fit in quite well. Or their mental health have huge mental health challenges, which I also speak about publicly, that I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just as crazy as the next fucker in the industry. But at least I play by, like, I say it like it is. There's no backdoor deals. There's no, which it's just too much for me. Like, I
Sure.
have to have, you're throwing all these things at me. I just can't. It's just, I mean, I spent over 5.5 years in the cannabis space. And did I reap some benefits health wise, meet some amazing people, travel to some cool places? Hey, spank your bum. Sorry.
Wait,
Just have to-
wait! I'm gonna start barking.
Me or the dog. I was just gonna.
I spurt you with the water bottle. Anyhow, I've met some amazing people. They're still my friends to this day. I've had a lot of great opportunities in the space, but it's done for me. Like oh God, it's just riddled with nonsense. And I'm 51 years old. I don't have the time or space. Like I'd rather you waste my money than my time. And I
I
can't
hear
have
ya.
all this
Sure.
time shit anymore. Plus, isn't weed supposed to be like peace, love, and muesli, for fuck's sakes? Like, I just want to go to Jamaica and smoke some weed and eat some food and fuck
Right.
off.
I mean,
Well, and that's what I've said about United States. Still, it's not federally legal here. We've got states that are and states that aren't. And I've said, and it's interesting to hear from a Canadian who's dealt with it being federally legal. I don't want it federally legal in the United States because the government is going to come in and fuck
And
it up
wreck
like they do
it.
big
Yeah, they
pharma.
are.
So
Like,
I'd rather
when
get my weed from my dealer around the corner. Like.
And I do love I do love going through Detroit and stopping at the dispensaries there. I've spent a lot of 420s and stuff in the States because it is kind of fun in some of your dispensaries. I mean, you're allowed to use celebrity advertising. You don't have the controlled dosing that we have. You're not you're still not. It's pretty fun. Like, I don't know. Do you know who White Boy Rick is?
yeah, the gangster.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, like
How do
he's
you-
my. Yeah,
how do you know
anyhow.
who he is and I don't? That's weird.
You don't know who he is?
No.
You gotta watch that movie.
He's not
Oh
a rapper.
my-
He's a gangster.
Okay, I'm
Okay, an amazing movie. What the federal government, America, did to this guy, this gangster drug dealer or whatever. He was
And he
just
was a
a
kid.
boy.
He was a
He was
kid.
just a
Yeah.
kid. He was just, and he was a kind of a slow kid, like kind of a. I mean, he's an amazing human now. He's an amazing man, and he's done a lot, and he's really cool, and his story is phenomenal. But
So are you saying you know him?
yes, like that's
Awesome.
Like, yes, like I know. Yeah, I know everybody.
I was gonna say.
And that's another thing. I get asked to do these like groupie podcasts and the spill secrets and whatever. How can I be a confidant? How can I be a lifelong friend of these people when I'm going to go on podcasts and talk about them? I'm going to name drop. I'm going to tell them, spill the messages. I'm going to tell. I never ever do that ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and there's been a lot of them go down lately. And I've got some messages that I can TMZ
Oh
would
boy. Any messages that mention baby oil or what?
Yeah.
I'm curious to talk to you because I'm going through a battle right now. I've been on SSRIs for 6-7 years,
Oh.
and I'm trying to get off of them currently. with the help of weed. I started smoking weed probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
And now for the past, it's been about a month that I've been dosing down. And the detox off of SSRIs it's incredible. I've had mental breakdowns multiple evenings, had to cancel a podcast one night because I just couldn't. So I'm just curious. I know you kind of went through and I heard you talking about it, how you, when you were diagnosed bipolar, you stopped kind of talking about how weed was because you had to go back on your meds.
Yeah, so that happened during COVID. So
Okay.
I had been on meds for about 7 years. I was always depressed. I mean, my whole life, even though life was fucking great, I was just a sad person, and that also pissed me off too because life is great. Why am I fucking miserable? Like
Right.
that would actually start. I would spiral really, and it wasn't great because I was always battling this. Like I felt so guilty that I was sad. I was on Wellbutrin, Cipralax, Seroquel, Ativan. I had
At the
stuff to
same
get
time?
at the same time.
Holy
See
shit.
that?
It
Okay.
would start with a 0.5, and then it was a 1.5, and then it was just take this at bed and take this in the morning, and make sure you don't drink coffee, and like just all it was craziness. And I quit cold turkey, which you should not do. You should not do. And I was a sweaty, stinky because it comes out of you like it just the sweat and the
Shit.
smell of me for months and months. But I didn't tell my husband or anyone that I was
Oh my
doing
God.
that.
Ooh.
I didn't let anyone know that I was detoxing this way because I just quit cold turkey and
So how did you handle when you knew you were like a flare up or something? How did you handle that knowing that
edibles
you didn't have their support? Oh, okay.
Edibles, oil, CBD oil. I would take CBD baths, like the CBD bath bombs. I journaled. I write a lot. I was writing for a lot of cannabis companies and a lot of different people in the industry. So I would write and just try and. I was sad though. Like it was a hard time, and people noticed, but not a lot of people said anything. But it was really hard, and it took a long time and also I would fly and then I would like, oh my God, I need my Ativan or I took these blue pills to sleep. They taste terrible, but they knock you out.
I
But
take blue
like
pills too, but for a completely different reason.
oh God.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's funny.
We've been discussing tonight how if we're still doing this like 10 years from now, we're going to change the title to Viagra with Dimples in the Beard.
That's funny. So I am, and then, okay, so that was all just anxiety and depression meds. I got diagnosed bipolar during COVID and I had to go back on everything. So I sort of took a step back from all like the talks and stuff because I just felt like a fraud. Like I felt like I couldn't tell everyone. And then that's what I started talking about, how I felt like a fraud and how this is what's happening in my life. And, this is what's going on and why I'm back on my meds. And yeah, and now I don't smoke weed at all anymore.
Oh, really?
I mean, when I go to Jamaica once or twice a year, I'll smoke it there, but I don't smoke. I'm trying not to.
Okay.
I'm really, really trying to spend the next 4 years. I get up really, really early. I go in the sauna. I have a trampoline. Like I took my nails off, took the lashes off, took all my extensions out. I'm not wearing any makeup here on the show. It's been about a year, almost a year. I'm just trying to get some last minute work done, some stuff done that I've wanted to do, some bucket list shit that I wanted to work on. Hopefully gain some, like do well in certain areas that I had never tried before, and then retire and roll off into the sunset. Can you hear
Beautiful.
my freaking dogs? Jesus.
and then back to smoking weed or after you retire or what's going on? There comes the squirt bottle.
I should get one of those for you.
Yeah.
They don't even care. Like I pull it out and they're like, they're both 12 pounds. They're just stupid dogs.
Well, we're not going to say so. Well, we'll talk about they seem to have their own Instagram page. So they're little stars is what they are.
They could be. People messaging at, do you guys want this? I'm like, you know what? I don't even feel like showering. Don't send me shit because then I'm going to have to shower and do a video and whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't need any vests or dog food or any of that shit. That's just like the cannabis stuff. You know what just happened to me at 420? I went to a bar a friend of mine owns the Canada's smallest bar, and it's about an hour and a half from here. And he smokes cocktails. He smokes craft cocktails. He does these things and
Sure.
whatever. And he does like these bubbles of smoke, and he has a dome on them. Just a second. Can you guys stop? Stop. Go lay down.
They're just looking at you. They just look at you. You have the
They're like,
water bottle literally in their face, and they're like, hi.
They don't care at all. Anyhow, so I took him the student glass. Do you know what the student glass is? That big gravity bong that you see Snoop Dogg. Mike Tyson
okay.
has one. So when the Barbie movie came out, they sent me one in Barbie pink, and it was all done up. They sent it to me like the week that the Barbie movie was premiering across America. And I was going to do this video and this whatever. I did it. And I took it to give to my friend. I'm like, I'm not going to smoke weed anymore. Well, at least I'm not going to be like falling on that. I'll have the odd edible and I'll take a puff of a joint before I go in somewhere. Can you just 1 second, guys? Seriously, they're literally humping like right behind me, and I can't stand it.
We can't air that on YouTube, guys. Off camera.
You're right,
We're
I'll try and block
we're not on Pornhub.
What the hell? My God. Okay, so I go to the bar. I give him that. He uses it, thinks it's amazing. The student glass thing. He's so excited about it. Oh, I know. Okay, it was Cypress Hill sent it to me, and they sent me my first one. It was a black one. They sent me a black one. I still had it in the house. So I go to his place. I take the black one because now I have the pink one. I'm gonna keep the pink one.
Nobody needs two of them.
No. So no one even needs one for Christ's sakes. But anyhow, so he does a video and he tags me and he tags the company. The company fucking sends me another one as a thank you. I'm trying to downsize. I'm trying to get rid of this shit. That's another reason why I put out a big public post on like all my socials that I'll always love the community, but I'm leaving the industry. You know, there's lots of other influencers and PR and whatever and brand ambassadors. Like I'm trying to stop. Like I've got enough shit to last me a lifetime.
I like to get high.
Well, where are you guys?
We're in Wisconsin.
Oh, what do you think of all this stuff? I love it. Stuff like the do not talk politics because I love it.
Oh,
we stay away from politics. We say we just stay away from politics.
We've had
Sorry.
a slip up or two,
right?
But
my husband's American, and so are my parents, my in-laws. Everyone's American.
Okay.
Everyone. I'm Canadian. I was born here. I am Canadian.
So how is the group text right now with America
oh my
versus
God.
Canada?
And my parents live in Georgia.
Okay.
So we know where they go. And my in-laws live in Arizona. So we know how they are. And my husband votes in the American election here in Canada. He votes in the American election.
Okay.
It's been a juicy couple weeks. And you know what? I'm not going to say anything because I don't get involved in it in that way other than I'm very proud to be Canadian.
Yeah.
I love Canada.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the 51st state unless it's, I don't know. Do we get Target again? Like, do I get Target and CVS? I don't know. Like,
you guys lost Target?
Yeah, we only had it for about a year.
Oh, really?
They almost never filled the shelves. It couldn't compete with Walmart, and it was gone. It wasn't. It wasn't the version of your Target, not at all. There was no good.
Sure.
It wasn't great.
That's weird to hear. You know, you just don't think of that. You just assume they're up there.
And our eggs have always been $4 for a dozen. So, like, when you guys are complaining about the price of eggs, anyone in Canada was like, that's the price of eggs, man. That's just what
you just go down the street and you get them.
Well, our eggs are up to like $7. So
are they?
Yeah, it's pretty insane right now. You can buy organic eggs for cheaper than you can buy grocery store eggs at this point.
And my daughter went shopping 2 days ago, and she said there was no eggs. It was completely bare.
What's happening now, right?
Anywhere.
The bird flu or whatever.
Yeah.
I live around a million egg farmers. Like
right.
Yeah.
Like I can drive, and there's all these little refrigerators on people's front lawn, and it says $5 a dozen eggs, and you just go to their fridge, you stick your toonies in there, and you get your eggs. One night I was really, really high, and my husband and I put buttons in.
Loonies and Toonies.
What?
We have an episode titled Loonies and Toonies, by the way, because we have
really?
Bree Vibes, who dances in Canada, was telling us about the Loonies and Toonies getting thrown at her. So
What? Oh, so I ended dancing long before the Looney and Toonie, but when it came out, I was like, can you imagine? They're going to be throwing these things at a girl.
She's talking about it like it's no big deal, and we're like, wait, that's like a coin, and they're throwing them at you. And
It's terrible.
they weren't mean about it, but yeah, she was like,
I went to see some feature dancer somewhere. I can't remember. A bunch of us went to some strip club in my hometown, and they sit us next to the stage, and we get a bottle of champagne, and I'm all excited. I haven't been in like 8 years. I hadn't been there or whatever. And the young girl, I was going to say the little girl, the young lady that was dancing, she's doing this thing. Her ass is in my face, and her head's between her legs, and she goes, "Hey, are you Jacqui Child?" I'll tell that story till I'm 90. Like, I love that. Like, that's a legacy.
that you should be proud of. And you're like, well, yes, I am.
So funny.
or was it more like, well, yes, I am.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, what the fuck?
can't go anywhere.
No.
Anyhow, that's fun. Oh,
That is fun.
God.
So I am curious. Back, and I don't want to dwell on it too much, but because I am right now, I'm struggling with the decision whether to go back to SSRIs or try to fight it out and stay on weed. And I'm just curious how your mindset when you decided to go back on medications. How, you know what I mean?
I was so upset.
Yeah.
I really was defeated. I felt really upset. I know, like, my doctor, my husband, everyone was like, "Oh no, it's good. It'll be a good thing." And I felt really defeated. I felt really upset. I was really, I couldn't believe, like, I couldn't just be normal. I couldn't, like, play the game, or there's no way to fake it. And then I would try and, like, things that would upset me, I would, like, try and count to 5 or count to 10 or back away, or just, I'm going to go upstairs and watch TV for an hour. But I noticed I was isolating and I was whatever. I'm like, oh, fuck. I think they're right. I think I need to. It was really disappointing. I was really, really upset. And not just business wise or whatever, or what it looked like publicly. I felt like, why about that? Like, why couldn't I just be normal? Like, why can't I just, even like I would drink. I still drink, but I would just drink during that time and just get fucking crazy, like just annihilated. And I'd be so
That's
upset
not
the
healthy.
next day. Like, why can't I just be normal? Like, why can't I have a couple rum and cokes or have a vodka and have a good time? Like, why does everything have to be such a shit show?
Yeah.
And it was I was not on my meds that I was literally a mess.
So is your mindset now? I'm
not on anything now. I haven't been on no, but now I'm not on anything besides estrogen and progesterone because I'm an old lady. So I am, but I have a really strict routine, like trying to go to bed early. I don't drink and party through the week. I sit in my sauna for an hour in the morning. I use the trampoline. I'm journaling. I spend a lot of outside time with the dogs. That's why we got the second dog, because they insist.
Yeah.
Like, they're not sleeping. Like, because I would sleep while I was not on my meds the first time, and while I was weaning myself off and in that transition state, I would, even with cannabis, I was sleeping a lot. I could go to bed really early and still be tired at 11 because I'd always, I had bad dreams, or I didn't sleep much, and I was very unfocused. Like, I couldn't, if we'd watch a movie and you could ask me something about the movie when it was over, and I'd be like, what? I don't remember that. Like, I was missing things. I was worried about being on meds because I have 2 adult sons, and I felt like a failure with that too. But then I realized, like, it's okay to be really authentic, be really real, be really humble, and be like, I am struggling. Mom struggles with mental health. And I think it's good for you guys to maybe, mention it to the doctor, or if you ever need therapy of any kind, or if you're having thoughts or whatever, which my oldest son went through a really bad breakup and a long-term, long girlfriend. And he came to me, which he'd never would have done to his father ever. He came to me and said, Mom, I need therapy and I might need to go on some meds or something. I think
Yeah.
something's up. And he would have, like, had I been married before to my ex and that whole situation there, that never would have, my son just would have been depressed. He would have
Yeah.
just been lonely and sad and depressed.
And that's why it's
So,
so important to talk about it, and why I applaud you for being so open and vulnerable with it, because just hearing other people talk about it, like I'm feeling exactly what you were feeling right now. I'm going through that. I'm feeling like either I'm going to feel like a failure because I couldn't get through it without the pills, or or I don't feel you know what I mean? So I'm right in
yeah.
that same spot and trying to figure out what I want to do.
But is the
What-
first part getting over that you're not a failure for admitting it? Is that not a huge part of it? Is just accepting yourself?
Yeah. The whole conversation, it's so difficult.
I'm
Like,
asking
it's so,
because you went through it.
it was, now I'm on the other side, but then again, I'm talking to you right now, and anything I say is only right now, because tomorrow could be a
Right.
really I could struggle and be like,
Mm-hmm.
because we went and saw that Pam Anderson movie, and I cried during the last Showgirl, and my husband's like, "What?" And we get in the car, and he goes, "That movie reminded me of your life." And I said, "Didn't it?" And then I was like, I turned to him and I go, "I'm old, and it's over." And I started bawling,
Mm.
and I wasn't bawling because I'm old and it's over, but because during it all, it was incredible. I've had
Yeah.
an amazing time, and the I'll have to write a book that gets released once I'm dead. Like like I don't, or when, I don't know, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want anyone to, I don't want to tell tales. I don't want to, but it would be so good. Like, I don't want to break up any marriages. And I mean, there's a lot of people that slide into my DMs that have been married forever, but they struggle with mental health, or they struggle. So they talk to me like after a concert or after whatever, when it's the sound, the sound is still in their head, but their wife's not with them, their kids aren't with them. And they have mental health issues, and they can say like, how did you deal with this? And didn't you, like someone like, didn't you ever just want to put a gun in your mouth? And I'm like, like, I'm glad I can still be a confidant to these people that deal with all this, because celebrity, whether you're in the sex industry or whether you're whatever, like, that applause does a lot too. And when it's not there anymore, or when it starts to quiet or starts to go away, it's like sports celebrities when they retire. I mean, they go
Right.
through a
It's hard.
fucking lot.
Yeah.
They go, so, and then, okay, on another note, even like regular people dealing with mental health issues, who do you talk to? Like, how do you not feel like a failure? How do you not feel ostracized or different because your buddies are all like, this guy's a fucking loser and he's not on antidepressants? You know what I mean? Like, why do I have to be on them?
Right.
I would sit at like a family function and whatever and be like, fuck, I'm
Yeah.
the trademark.
Yeah. It all hits so close. It's crazy.
Cannabis helped. It helped until it didn't.
Yeah.
It helped a lot until it didn't. And then I thought, okay, I'm always addicted to something.
Right.
Is it just becoming another vice? So like 1 Ativan was good, 3 was better, sleeping pills, the whole thing. Then that became a whole other shit show. And then alcohol on top of that, all the stuff that you're not supposed to drink with, I was drinking. And then I get into mushrooms and I'm like, okay, these are helping me. I'm so spiritual now. I'm so uplifted. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm always just chasing another bullshit high.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
for real.
But I hear you. I have my daughter every other week. So the weeks that I have her, I don't get high at all, obviously. So I feel like I can mask it. I can fix it the weeks that I don't have her, but then I'm high every day. And the weeks I do have her, I'm not high at all. So then I struggle that week. And so it's that matter of trying to balance it out and
Instead of flip flopping all the
Yeah.
time like that,
Yeah.
right?
So-
Right.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Plus then you're drained. Like your week
Yeah.
on, your week off. That's how we used to have our kids as well, the week on, week off. And I would try and like, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to be out of bed. I'm going to make sure they have breakfast. I'm going to make sure I'm going to go to their thing. Like I'm going to be, and then the following week, I was a train wreck. I was so tired, mentally, physically, the whole thing, struggling with, what do I do about all this? And
Mental
now here
exhaustion
I
is
am.
real that people don't think about. I mean, it's mental
very real.
exhaustion is just as exhausting as physically exhausted.
Very real.
And I find like now, again, like it's been, I don't know, it's been 2 weeks since President Trump came in. I'm back to that. I have this weird sort of pit in my chest where like I'm waiting for something every morning. And I
Yeah.
hadn't had it for 4 years. And now I'm back to that. I mean, do I think he can do some good shit? Yes. I'm the last person to say a person has to be completely perfect and they have to be this way and that way or
Right.
whatever. I was excited originally a businessman was going to get into the whatever, but all that's whatever. But I'm back to feeling like I did when I was struggling with my meds and stuff. I this constant walking on eggshells, always like waiting for another shoe to drop or a bomb to go off or whatever. Like that's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to Arizona in 10 days. We're going and I am very vocal about proud Canadian, and that also has me worried. Like, okay, I have to cross borders. People often recognize me. Some places I'll hand a passport or and they'll be like,
Oh, sure. Yeah. I've seen you before.
and you've been hating on America the last 2 weeks.
I've been paying $12.99 a month for the past year.
Oh, that's another thing. I had OnlyFans. I forgot about that. I had OnlyFans for a while. I missed that point.
So do you not
How do you forget about
do you not do
OnlyFans?
do you
No,
not
I
do
don't do
OnlyFans
it
at all
anymore.
anymore? Okay.
No, and I was with this thing called Tempted, which is like Naked News, and Mr. Skin have this thing, and I was part of all
Mr.
that.
Skin? Wow.
I love them.
Didn't
They're
he
the
start
nice-
by didn't Mr. Skin just start by
Yep.
he was the guy who found the nude scenes in movies?
Yep.
Yes, and he's a super savant, smart fucker. The guy,
Nice.
he thinks everything in numbers and like dates, times. So it was perfect for his savantness. That's the word.
Sure.
To
It is now.
become Mr. Skin.
Because he'll tell
And-
you 2 minutes, 13 seconds, so and so's boobs come out.
He's
like,
Rain Man of boobs?
Yep.
Yes,
Isn't he brilliant?
100%. And he's like a normal freaking dude in real life, married, cute kids, the whole whatever. And he thinks in like these numbers. He thinks in time slots and like sentences. He can tell you how many words were in that sentence. Like the number, like everything is. So he just put it to the nude stuff. He put it to movies and
He put it to the best use possible.
And God bless him.
I mean, the first time I'd ever heard from Backburger was from Mr. Skin. I was like, what the hell? He was on Howard Stern, which I've been listening to Howard Stern for 30 plus years religiously.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen to the same interview 12 times.
Oh, really?
Yes, my whole life. Like, well, love it. Because my parents moved to Michigan. We lived in Burlington near Toronto. We lived in like Toronto area when I was born and grew up. And then when I was 15, my parents moved to Michigan. And I stayed here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And then from Michigan, they went to Georgia and whatever, and they just never came home.
Because you're a difficult child, and that's why they left. I'm just trying to
Ask too many questions.
No, it's really good. And then I went to school in Windsor to be close to them in Detroit, right there, because at the time you could just drive across the bridge and the
Sure.
tunnel and whatever, and go to football games and baseball games and whatever. It was fun. It was a great time. I could go home and do laundry and then go back to school.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I started dancing and started dancing in Detroit a little bit and meeting people in Detroit that were so fun.
Okay,
fun.
I didn't know where that sentence was going to go. Detroit's got a reputation.
I still love it. I
Yeah.
still love it. Yeah, I do. I still really love it. We go about twice a year, hang out like downtown, like 8 Mile, and shop and eat, and I love that kind of stuff. I really,
Nice.
I don't know. I love that thug life. I just do.
Doesn't she just read Thug Life?
She's got a big thug tattoo across your stomach.
I do have some gang tattoos on me.
Yeah.
It was during the cannabis I was working in cannabis. If certain cannabis people made deals with me or I would say, look, if you're going to promise me you're good on your word, I'll take you for it. I will tattoo your logo on my foot or on my wrist or on my arm I will literally tattoo your logo. So anytime I take a picture, anytime I'm out, anytime whatever, this is like, so you got to be fucking serious. And that's how that happened. I've got a bunch of them all over me.
Wow. So you
So-
are a walking billboard.
You have to to learn some of these people. I mean, they don't play by the regular rules, like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 and whatever. So I had to learn to speak their language and to deal with these people. These people.
These people.
And then I became one.
I waited too long. I don't have any room on my billboards anymore. They're full. They're done full up.
So I can't believe I'm on your podcast and I didn't even mention OnlyFans. Like, that's so funny.
Well, I was questioning because I've seen various reports. Like, I saw that you had given it up, but then I was like, I saw a podcast you were on, but it was like a year and a half ago when you were talking about it. So I didn't know if you were still doing it or
No. So I stopped. I made it to like the top 5%. I was doing really, really well, and that's where I left. I bought a Jeep and I'm building a villa in Jamaica and I'm doing whatever, and I left.
Nice.
So I just
Leave while you're on top.
That's what I didn't want to. I'm also like, I felt like I was doing a lot of hand holding. Like, a lot of people were messaging me just to talk, and it's overwhelming. And with my anxiety and depression, I was like, I'm an empath. Like, I'm soaking up all this bullshit, and I'm like, Jesus, fuck, go talk to your wife or girlfriend or something. Like, Jesus,
Right.
I'm out.
Well, that's a great point. So you have your issues. They're piling them on. Did that increase your own or?
Piling, yes. And it really, people will message me. Facebook has 2.5 million followers or 2.1 million or something. I don't know what it is, but people will message me there, which I shut messaging off now. Their kids need Christmas presents. Their mom needs a cancer surgery. Their whatever. And I'm a fucking sucker. And I couldn't stand it anymore. Like, I can't adopt another dog, I can't send someone to wherever. Like, even, do you remember that Making of a Murder? That boy, the Making of the Murder? Like, I was right involved in that. I was tweeting, I was reaching out to celebrities. I'm like, I'm getting that kid to, if he stays out of jail, I'm sending him, because he was really into wrestling. I'm like, I want ringside for him. I'll take care of it. Ringside's for life for that kid. Let's like, I was so,
Wow.
I'm like, okay. I was too involved.
Wait, is that the
Sorry.
Stephen Avery thing?
Yes.
So are you talking about Brendan Dassey?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's real close to
That
us.
happened by us.
Okay, well, that is just like that sucked up about a year and a half of my life. I was on Sirius XM talking about it. I was tweeting every celebrity in town. I was talking on all kinds of radio stations. I was paying my son's kids or my son's friends to watch it, to get to know Brandon, get to understand the story, I was paying people to watch it and tweet about it and give it more attention. And
wow.
Yeah, you
yes.
obsessed?
Yeah, I was going to say,
a good word there.
Yeah.
Have you since clung on to something else, or have you just said, you know what, I got to stop this?
It got really bad again recently.
Okay.
With animal stuff, like with dogs and like fires in LA and all these displaced animals and stuff. So I've unfollowed about 1,300 sanctuaries, SPCAs, rescues. I find I do that, and that's the bipolar mixed with some anxiety and depression. I hyper focus on things. I also tend to hyper focus and get really sucked into things that are like highly emotional, like highly sensitive situations. And I just got like, I'll watch a murder mystery at 11 p.m. and then go to bed. Like, you can't do that. you gotta detox your mind too. You can't do that. Like,
shouldn't do that.
This is
no.
It's so bizarre listening to all this, because I just feel so much like when I was fully medicated for 4 or 5 years, I stayed off of Facebook. I didn't post. When Trump ran the first time, I was very political. I was very out there. I got away from it. And all of a sudden, in the past couple of weeks, I found myself, now that I'm not medicated, going back to Facebook and posting my thoughts about what's happening in politics, thinking that anybody gives a shit. And then I went, what the fuck am I doing?
They don't.
That's where I'm at too. And then I'm fighting with some idiot in the basement from Arkansas who's only like, I'm a worldly educated person from Canada. We have a totally different, you might be lovely, sir. I could go there and we can hunt and fish and we can make a turkey in your deep fryer, but we're not going to be on the same.
Right.
And see, that's another thing with me. People, if you notice on social media or in the world today, social media is my world, unfortunately. People are like, we all have that weird, creepy uncle. our grandparents were probably less than perfect because that was the time and that was the way things were. But see, you
Right.
can't say that. You can't say, well, it was wrong then and it was, you know what? Like, no,
Yeah.
no one is fucking perfect. There's got to be some more forgiveness. There's got to be some more kindness, some empathy. Like, even I called Trump a buffoon morning, noon, and night. I think his daughter is gorgeous. I love following his shit. I think he's smart as fuck. I think he's actually so smart that he uses the language to stay trending, to stay top of mind, to be controversial. But I'm also like, I march in Black Lives Matter, which
Sure.
I mean, but does that mean like I want like it just, you know what, I'm just a kind person. I'm an empathetic person. I have a massive audience. I like to use it for different things. Do I think we all have flaws? Fuck yeah. Do we all, we all have a past and things we say, like I just said, we can say things 2 weeks ago that don't relate or don't, okay, I've since learned better. I since have got a different perspective. I've changed because today on the news I was watching, they kept showing interviews from like 2017 and 2016 and 2012. It's a different fucking time. We've had COVID, the world has changed, shit's gone down. Like, you can't hold everybody for everything.
Yeah.
And because so and so used a bad word or a bad term when they were 17, we got to hang them from the whatever now that they're 42. Like, I don't believe in that shit. I do not believe. And there was a time when your boss smacked your ass or your boss made you get coffee and wanted to look down your shirt. And that was the way it fucking was.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, that's the way it was.
And I still consider
until it got better and changed.
Right.
And I'm a feminist. Like, I am woman, hear me roar. Like, I use my sexuality. It's just as much as my brains. You know what I mean? Like, I use what I have. I know how to get in and sell. I know how to manipulate the situation in my advantage. I think it's unfortunate that so many people make everything's a negative. And if you have one point of view, you can't have this point of view. And if you say this, then you obviously can't be that.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
that makes no sense.
It doesn't. I don't like that Canada's been booing the Americans at the hockey and football and soccer and all that, or basketball and all that shit. Like, I think it's horrible, and I'm a fucking proud Canadian, and I think that's horrible. Like,
we're not all our president. I mean, whether you agree with them, disagree with them, we're not all our president, and so it's not a USA problem. It's so
and it's like, people just suck. Like, if you read comments, which I'm also a comment junkie. That's a whole rabbit hole.
So that I need to walk away from. All right.
I wish we could be. Comment, people, comment.
Like, I love it. I see someone's post, like I see a Chelsea Handler or Amy Schumer will post something, and then her comments are just full of, I love it. I can spend a whole afternoon just sipping tea, reading comments, and I always click on the person. I go look at them. I'm like, oh, buddy, okay, you got no fucking teeth. You're wearing 2 different Crocs. You're like, what the hell? Like people would say all the time about me being plastic, or they'd say I'm getting chubby, or you said this, that, and the other, whatever. And then I go on them. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
that
really
is
a troll.
Some of the funniest is when somebody is chubby or fat, and then they're criticizing someone else for being it, and they're like, just look at yourself. Just shut up about it.
For me, it was women more than men. Like,
Yeah.
I had a 94%.
Jealous women?
Horrible. Religious, usually religious. I have a 94% male following, and it's since changed, but that was the bulk of the following in this like heyday, and for the most time, 94% men. And that's a huge swing, that's big. So when the women did come, it was always like it was just horrible.
They're coming with venom first.
Hardcore. Like, they're, like, shame, you should be ashamed of yourself. You must be a terrible mother. You're terrible this, you're terrible that. Like, I don't know how one was like, this whole thing was my job. I'm a phenomenal mother, and I'm a phenomenal parent and partner and all that stuff. This is my job. I would put on a wig, put on a push-up bra, look like a hoe bag. That was I was in my home. I'm Swiffering the floor and making eggs. Like, like scooping cat litter.
Yeah.
I'm a regular person.
Yep. But that's the only reason they go on. They go to find these so they can just complain.
Yeah.
I post some afternoons I'll just post like 30 or 40 comments. Like I'll dig deep and I'll find a bunch of comments and I'll just put them all in my stories one after the other. And then I get flooded with, holy shit, I don't know how you deal with this. I'm like, fuck, I snapped. Bipolar. That's how I dealt with it, you fuckers.
I'm going to blame my mental health.
You guys broke
whenever
me.
I want.
It broke me. Now I think it's empowering. I think whatever. I just had a little tiffy with someone the other day and I could feel it coming. I knew this person was going to block me. She blocked me before I had a chance to say anything. It was my mistake. I said something after reading something she said and I read it incorrect. And then I responded, I reacted, which is my worst trait ever. My reaction, like I'll blow a house down and then blow a house up and then go, oh fuck, I read that wrong. You know?
I want to.
But I do admit
I
that's
don't.
one of my.
You
I
say
don't-
you're sorry.
I don't know
Sorry.
if it's because like I looked. Our birthdays are 15 days apart, like to the year. So, and I feel like just such a kindred spirit. Everything you're saying is things I'm like. That's exactly how. So
What when are you when
August
when's your
24th of 73.
Oh, so you're not a Leo though, right?
No, I'm Virgo. I'm like the first day of Virgo.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Oh, I love that. I like that you did some research. You did a little scrolling.
Yeah, but it's just weird as I listen to you talk. Going, everything you're saying is shit I fully. So maybe astrology really is a thing. I don't know.
Maybe my husband's a Leo. We're both Leos,
Yeah.
but like a male Leo and a female Leo are very different. Like the male lets the woman lets her be ferocious and loud and out there, and he's more like he doesn't like social media. He's very quiet. Like we would get emails and dozens of messages about what a loser my husband would be, or how embarrassing for your husband that you act this way, or who the hell takes, he's been my photographer for 11 years, who the hell takes all these nasty pictures of you, who the hell, like it's my husband.
It's my husband. And he does a damn good job.
Yeah, right. He's very good at his job.
Yeah, so people just, I don't know, some people are just a mess. They're just God.
Yeah.
Well, they're happy being unhappy. You know what I mean?
happy
That's their
being
way.
unhappy.
Yeah, that's their only way of life.
It's one of the nice things about this podcast is my social media life has gone from me personally to the podcast. So I don't have time for myself on social media. Everything I do is the podcast. And I'm not with the podcast. I'm not going to go after anybody. I'm trying to be very neutral and very, we just keep even when people post shitty comments, we just say, thank you. Thanks for the comment.
Right.
We
Thank
love
you.
it.
You're the best.
So
I have a hard time with that. My podcast got a little, because of I'm sure because of bipolar, I could snap like a motherfucker. I could be in an interview with like the president of, like, we have a drugstore. It's like CVS, only it's called Shoppers Drug Mart.
okay.
And I was interviewing the president of Shoppers Drug Mart, and they had submitted questions, and I don't do that. I don't do submitted questions, but that was the only way he would come on the podcast. So his PR person just kept pushing me the paper, and I kept pushing it back. And she's like, "Well, he's not coming on." I'm like, "He's sitting right here. He's here."
It's already on.
I'm like, "We can't just have a conversation." She's like, "No." I'm like, "Can I record this?" Like, what the hell? Like, so, and then I ended up losing it, and my co-host had to interview. I couldn't. I was just like, "Okay, no, I'm out. Like, you're not for me."
Wow.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
for
sticking up.
Yeah, no doubt. Like,
Oh, maybe that's back to the naked news when I said I was difficult. I would be like that sometimes. We would have guests on that were just nasty, or they were just like, I interviewed somebody. Do you guys know what the Nerdist is?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like it's a big network. I think it's on Sirius. I don't know. It's like a television channel, and it's like mostly comedians, but they have
Isn't that
like
Chris Hardwick?
yeah.
Yeah.
And Futurama is on there, and
Okay.
all those sort of shows. Like I think The Simpsons was on Nerdist, or no, South Park was South Park. Anyhow, I interviewed this dude from there, and it went on the front page ended up going on the front page of Reddit, and because he said I was a terrible interviewer, and that he whatever blah blah blah, and I wasn't. He couldn't fucking keep his eyes off my boobs, so he was not answering the questions properly. I was sitting there naked, is naked news, and why, if he was such a loser, could he not like, if he'd never seen a naked woman before, he couldn't hold the conversation at all, so he spun it, and they tried to like not have it played and whatever, and it ended up being this big viral moment on Reddit.
Okay.
So, and anyhow, I don't know where I was going with the story, but I hate the Nerdist. no, that was another time.
That's
where
where it was. You hate the dirtiness. Now, I can understand being distracted a little bit, but
I ended up freaking out because I did all my research. I studied, so I like ended up writing a big thing and whatever, and it was part of the viral moment. But I'm just like, fuck that. Like, nuh-uh, buddy. Like,
you're not going to win this one.
no.
Right?
Even I'll put my clothes on and interview you again, and you still fucking suck.
Don't blame my boobs, goddammit. My boobs are fantastic.
So that's another right during COVID I had massive implants. During COVID I had them removed, and that's when I took the extensions off and the lashes, and I was just like, you know what, I'm fucking done playing this stupid game. I'm actually really fucking smart. and for the next 50 years I'm going to use my brain a little more than I did in the past.
And really beautiful. As you said right now, really beautiful. And we both say this over and over again. Women do too much.
Makeup. Too much makeup.
Yeah, that's what's too much makeup, too much.
The lashes. You look like you're sleeping. Like, are you a camel? What the hell?
Give me the natural look every time.
1,000%, yes.
And I'm starting to like that. Like, I'm starting to like that. I go out, which I never, like, how high maintenance and ridiculously vain. I wouldn't go to Costco. Like, I wouldn't go, unless I was, like, fully done up and all that. Now I could give two shits. And if you think I look homeless or if I look whatever, great. I can care less. Like, I don't, I don't care at all.
Show a picture of the villa you're building in Jamaica. And say, not only am I not homeless, I've got a second one.
That thing's a money pit, taking forever. I mean, nothing happens fast in Jamaica.
No, I can imagine.
They're all. Well, let's get high and think about it.
They wear flip-flops. I mean, there's no construction hats. There's no, like, real ladders. They make them with sticks and ropes and all this shit. It's unfucking believable what's going on there. I'm just.
But when
like,
it's done, it'll be perfect.
It will, worth it.
Hopefully, it's done before I die.
So, what do you think that turning point was for you to go from the I got to be made up just to walk out of the house to I don't give a shit anymore?
I was the chief content officer of a media and tech company in the cannabis space about a year and a half ago. And I got laid off without notice, effective immediately. The company was closing. And it shocked the shit out of me that I had allowed. It was the first time I'd ever really worked for, like, I'd always been a freelancer, hustler of some sort, like, my whole life, right? Like, I'd never actually, everything was always within it was within my control. I could negotiate my fee. I could work if I wanted to. I could, I was stripping for cash. I was OnlyFans for cash. Naked News is like, you can basically be a gnat with tits and you can work there. But no offense to everyone that I love that works there. They're all amazing.
As long as you said no offense, you're good.
We won't tag them in that clip.
No, I don't care. You never have to edit anything with me.
Yeah.
Give two poops.
We were listening.
So I ended up becoming the CEO, the COO or CCO or whatever the fuck, chief content officer, running this media and tech company in the cannabis space. And it was a big fucking deal, government stuff and compliance and regulations. And there was an education part of it and there was whatever. And I was wearing suits and it was like a corporate whatever. I don't know how that fucking happened. But when it was done, I was like, what the hell was that? It hurt. Like, I was like, whoa, I gotta take a step back here. What is this? And it was like an overnight thing. I was like, I haven't even talked to some of the people there in the last year and a half. And I would talk to them 100 times a day, every single day. I haven't had any contact with anyone. I haven't gone to places or things where I know that they will be. I don't know. I was super shocked. I got really depressed. And I have to worry about my mental health. I can't, it's not something I can play with. Like, it's not, like, it's very dangerous to get too sad or to be too deeply upset. Hang on, they're growling at each other.
It's not gonna work.
we need one of those every once in a while. Sometimes we're growling at each other too.
Anyhow, hey, they're under the bed now. Oh, they're coming up over here. So yeah, that's what happened was, and that was, I had OnlyFans was still sort of pumping in the background during all that, which was another thing. I was in a corporate position, but I also had OnlyFans. I was in a corporate position that worked a lot with government grants and with all kinds of whatever, and I was blowing up on OnlyFans.
So there was no hiding it. You weren't just a little OnlyFans creator.
No, it was big. And so Naked News actually was the last instance, the Naked News messaged me and said, we're going to Jamaica with Camp Orr and all this whatever. Do you want to come? And will you come as one of the Naked News girls? I'm like, I'm 50 and I have a corporate job. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it.
Well, at this point, why not?
And then while I was doing it, they're interviewing me and whatever. And I'm like, I probably won't have a job when I get home. And about 3 weeks after I got home, the company closed. And I just knew something was happening and something was up. Just the climate for cannabis in Canada is just, there's a lot of people going bankrupt and there's a lot of people losing their shit and whatever, losing their shirt. So I worked every day. I knew what was going on. And I interviewed everyone, like presidents of all over. So I sort of knew what was the trend was. So when I went, I had a really good time. It was like my last hurrah because I would never do that again. I mean, we played like naked twister. We did naked yoga. We played basketball. We all nude for a full week. The girls were all 20s and 30s. It was a bunch of guys too because there was like a lot of gay performers and all this sort of stuff. It was really fucking fun. And the whole time I was there, I knew this is my last hurrah. This is it. I'm done. And it was really fun. It was really wild. My best friend lives in Jamaica and she came and we were at Hito and she came and stayed with me on the last night. And she's like, are you sad or you whatever? I'm like, no, it's just done. It's done. And I said, I got one. And I said, and I never thought I'd have one more kick at the can or that I would want to. And I just think it's really cool. Like I didn't miss anything. I don't have any regrets and it's done. And it was really, really fun. And then they're like, okay, I got home and Naked News is like, okay, well, you can do this or you can do like all this OnlyFans sort of stuff. I'm like, no, this is it. I left all that in Jamaica. Like, I can't help Father Time. Like the way things are, I'm not aging backwards. So it was done and it was really, really fun. And
What a way to go out though.
Right?
It was really, like crazy. It was really fun. It was so fun. I'm really glad I did it. I mean, was it crazy and was there like a lot of crazy shit that week? Yeah. But I was looking at it also. I wasn't abusing pharmaceuticals. I wasn't doing cocaine and which I've done off and on a lot of times throughout my life. And I mean, in anything like mushrooms, cannabis, cocaine, acid, just what alcohol, men, like strange dick, all that, whatever. Like I went and I didn't do anything of any kind. I didn't even get hammered while I was there. Like I was not like doing shots or anything. And it was done. And I had a phenomenal time. I met some amazing people. I follow their journeys and what they're doing. I just saw a bunch of people get some awards and they just at AVNs and stuff. And it's great. I got to do it, did it, done.
Perfect.
So you don't go from 60 miles an hour to 0. So what are you doing to fuel the fire now?
What am I doing?
Or maybe you did go from maybe you are just sipping tea and scrolling Instagram.
Done. She's just done.
My last son just moved out yesterday. I'm an empty nester. But finally, I mean, I had them really young. I'm 51. I now have my house to myself for the first time in my life. I mean, I moved out when I was 15. My parents moved to the States. I've been buying light bulbs and bread and eggs my whole life by myself. And I got married super young. The first time I was married for 15 years. Ran the daycare. Like, this is the first time in my life where I can do whatever I want. And I don't know what I really want to do other than not much. I like fishing.
Nice.
Okay.
Going to Arizona, Jamaica, Florida. I take my dogs places. I buy them weird shit. I don't know. Spend a lot of time with them. I go camping and I'm trying to be a vegan. I haven't eaten red meat in a long, long time. Not saying that I love steak and I like it rare. Like I like it ruined.
Yeah.
So,
I don't get those. But anyways,
that's
to each his own.
Hard one to walk away from.
I'm just trying to be an all-around healthier person. Will it last? Who knows? I just know I'm a really good person and I'm in a nice spot in my life. I'm sure there'll be a lot of ups and downs the rest of it. But like with aging parents and aging partners and all this sort of stuff, like it's always fucking something.
It's life.
I just got to learn to bob and weave without all the other assistance that I had in the past. And I feel a lot better about it. But the schedule, the routine, like I said earlier, routine really, really helps. Like
Yeah.
get up at the same time, do this, do that, go in the sauna, do this, drink this green tea, which I'm drinking. Like do all like normally I would be smoking a joint on the podcast. I drink a bottle of wine. I would now I'm drinking green tea. I just had a magnesium before you got here.
Going to town tonight.
A wild one. I mean, I still fucking love porn. I love Mr. Skin. I love the Naked News. I'm going to Arizona next week, and we have friends in the porn industry that will hang out with and see. And I mean, we'll have a fun night somewhere or whatever. But it's not. I mean, yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun, and I don't have any regrets. I used the money for good. I donate to lots of charities. I've done a lot of really fucking good things. I've helped some people out that I don't like, no regrets. Yeah.
Sounds like a heck of a life.
And now you're helping us out, and we appreciate it.
Oh, I could talk your ear off, obviously, right? Didn't you ask me three? We asked me 3 questions, and I talked for an hour and 10 minutes.
I'm not going to lie to you. I sent them a
Kinda.
message today and said, if we can come up with 4 questions, we're good. I watched a few podcasts. I know if we got 4 questions, we're good. And that's great because that's what we want. Nobody watches this podcast for us. They watch for the guests. So
That's what we wanted. Yes, exactly.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I've been on lots of podcasts where they're like, we were just researching you really quick. We weren't sure if we're going to, and we didn't know what to ask you. I'm like, look, just say hello. We'll go from there.
say hi and get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. Just sit back and go.
I do have one last topic I want to ask you about because I saw you talking to a friend of yours, a realtor friend of yours on a podcast, and you guys were talking all about AI and Chat GPT.
Love it.
And all this. And I have just started to incorporate Chat GPT into this, and it's funny because I actually had Chat GPT. I said, analyze everything you know about Jacqui Childs and come up with a list of questions for the podcast. Now, we didn't use any of them, but and it came up with like 20 questions, all these things and stuff. So,
isn't it amazing? It's
yeah,
amazing.
and I just want to know more what you're using it for and what I'm missing. And
So
sometimes I worry though that he's uses it more and loves it more than his wife, but that's a whole different story.
I spend a lot of time.
She
with
does too.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, she does too.
A lot of time with ChatGPT. We'll be driving somewhere. My husband will go, "Why don't you ask your ChatGPT?
Wait, do you
Why
have-
do you see what he thinks?"
Do you have your Chat GPT named? Does it have a name?
I was calling him Chad because I don't have a Chad anymore. So I was calling him Chad. And then I was upset. I woke up. I had gone to bed. I was asleep. And I woke up and went, why is my Chat GPT a man? He could be a woman.
I'm a feminist, damn it.
That's right.
So I use it for everything. I mean, I'll say I want to make a because I have Crohn's. I want to make a FODMAP recipe, whatever. What is FODMAP? And it'll tell me. It's like a type of diet, type of food. And then I'm like, okay, my in-laws are coming. They're gluten-free. What should I buy? What's this? And it tells me things. I have clients that I do their social media. And I'm like, okay, my client is in real estate, but they're like in mortgage lending, whatever. They're trying to be persuasive. They want to create FOMO. And it will tell me what to like. It's just in me. Okay, I keep using these 6 words. I'm using them too many. Can you write this down without using these words, with using other words in the place? Or I'm doing I am Jacqui Childs. I have 2.5 million on this. I have 1.5 million on that. I have 100,000 on this. What is the going rate for influencing, for brand ambassador, for whatever? And it gave me, I was like, I'm sending those out now that so people message me all the time. I say, what's your email? And then I'll send them the rates that ChatGPT, which are astronomical, which I would never really like. It's not what I charge, and even close. But like, I don't really want to do that stuff anymore. Like even like podcasts, I say to like one every 3 or 4 months. I'm doing one when I'm in Arizona.
Look at that, we win. We got her.
I'm doing like a feminist podcast from New York City. They're in New York City while I'm in Arizona, and that's been in the works for like 3 years or something. And I agreed to that, but I've just been saying no. I did do something on the news a few weeks ago. It was to I don't know, some news station asked me to come in, and it was about being a feminist, but also like being sexual and being healthy sexuality and whatever. And I was perfect for that. So I was like, I'm going because, and then they had me sit with some 23-year-old who had 3 kids. She was a truck driver, but she was talking about how she doesn't feel that there's like weight differentiates, or she doesn't differentiate. Well, anyhow, she was just so naive. It was driving me nuts. I was like going crazy. Every time they'd cut to a commercial, I was like gonna choke her. And she was like super Christian and everything. I was just like, oh fuck, girl. And I'm like, you're really cute, but and then I was like, you know what, we should revisit this in 15 years, girl.
Yeah, right. Talk to me again when you've experienced a little bit of life.
When life actually hits you in the fucking face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so I'm not really doing public-y things anymore. I don't really want to. I was gonna do a float, like for be in some float for gay pride with a bunch of, I don't know, these like sexual liberated whatever, because in Canada we can be topless and stuff, and I didn't want to do it. I was just like,
We
nah.
we heard from
Yeah.
Frankie,
Yeah.
which she was on. She might have even showed us.
Isn't that so funny? I didn't even care. Like, it was nothing. It was no big deal at all. And then the comments when I had like posted I was on Naked News, they're like, "You're gonna go to jail. That's illegal." And then, even worse, God's gonna get you. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy people. Like, I had to block an entire country, Albania. I had to block
Entire
them.
country.
An
How
entire
many?
country. So I have like 2.3 million or whatever on that page. It's gone up and down over the years, but I have entire countries blocked on that page. So like they
Who
were
can
just
say? How many people can say that?
That's a goal right there. That's a goal.
and it was like I was getting death threats all the time, and just nonsense. And my oldest son would help me with my social media, and he's like, he would be so funny. He would like going through the question or the DMs, or he would be doing things, and he'd be like, "Mom, so and so wants to know how much for a pool party." And he's like, "And I think you got some dicks here."
I think that's one of them. If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
So, see, that was fun too. I mean, I used to charge to show up at bars or to show up places and like whatever. That was so fun. I mean, and charge to speak. I mean, I had a lisp I still do. I have a lisp growing, a speech impediment. My social anxiety and all this whatever. To stand in front of audiences and like get paid to talk, I was like, what the fuck kind of trip is this?
Who would have ever thought, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I'm in a movie right now.
Oh yes, that's a good point. But Avery, before
Thank
we
you,
go,
before
because
we go.
we love horror movies. So
You do? I don't.
we
Oh,
love
it's-
horror movies.
It's actually a great premise. Yeah.
Terrifying too, and the people are so like into it. Like they're freaky, the special effects, the latex, and all
Sure.
this. Oh my god, I'm terrified. The whole thing. The little girl, she is fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like that, she's supposed to be my foster daughter or whatever. So like that's cool. That happened. That was the man owned some magazines. They interviewed me a long, long time ago. And he said he always kept me in mind. He just like, I'm gonna do something with that girl at some point. I'll be able to do something
That's
with
cool,
her. We'll
yeah.
do something. And it was like 6 years later, he messaged me and he said, I'm working on a movie. He said, I have a script ready. Don't say anything. You can read the script and let me know. But he said, I basically have written this part for you. You don't have to audition. So like he's been holding auditions for months and doing all kinds of stuff. He's like, you say you want this part, it's yours. And he sent it to me, and then I was like, okay, I don't like scary movies. It's going to be in Windsor and Detroit. I live far, far away. Like how much time is this going to be? It's going to break into my summer, and I like to camp.
Okay.
And how much am I getting paid? But then does it really? Okay, I gotta get a dog sitter. I gotta like. Oh, I was just like, I might have to put nails on. I'm probably gonna have to shower regularly.
Oh.
All that shit.
And then your price just went up. I got a shower. Your price just went up.
Then they told me that my husband in the movie is the drummer from the Tea Party. Do you guys know the Tea Party?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you could Google them. They're a huge band. They were very, very big, late 90s. They're
Okay.
from Windsor, Detroit area. So the drummer I'm friends with in real life, him and his wife, and he's my husband in the movie. So it was kind of fun. I was like, okay. And then like there's a lot of musicians that are like that I'm know that are like doing part of the soundtrack and part of the whatever. So I said yes. and it's going to be great. It's probably going to terrify me the rest of my. I probably will never sleep again. I get. I had sorry I was going to tell you, but I've signed all kinds of endings. I was like, I'm just
no
going to tell you,
spoilers.
but it's not a good ending for me. Woo. And it's terrifying. What happens to me will probably be what I think about the rest of my days.
Well, I'm excited to see it because I did like the premise and the recap of it,
Sounds
but
pretty cool.
it sounds like it's in post production now.
Yeah, like we don't start filming until the end of March.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we don't. Yeah, we don't start filming
Pre-production.
until the end of March. Like they're still building certain set things and like laser printers or whatever. I don't know. Things are happening, and then it started to get too big. What we were doing, they were going to do some funding, like they were going to get some money, and then they didn't need to do that. Like whatever it's called, like when people buy
crowdfunding or crowdsourcing.
yeah, like something like that. They were sort of going in the artsy community for this and whatever, and then they didn't need to do that anymore. So that sort of slowed some things down because there was a lot of grant writing and processes they had to do.
Sure.
And so now it looks like it's going to do like the film festival circuit.
Fun.
And then who knows? Then Netflix or wherever it goes from there. Who knows?
Awesome.
Depends on where it goes. But it's exciting. And he says it's like the first of a bunch. So he could do like a prequel to it and whatever. Because I'm like, oh well, I know what happens to me.
I'm not in the sequel.
So you wrote me for one movie.
And he said no. He said don't do that. Don't. And he said because like dream sequences and memory things and prequels and blah, blah, blah. So and he's like, and there has to be a reason this is happening now. Like there has to be a story before. And so I was like, okay, whatever.
They could always bring you back somehow.
Well, I know when it's officially done and it's time to promote it, I know who would love to have you back on. So just
gotta
promote the movie, right?
Right?
Yeah. So I've done it, but that's another. Oh, that's where I did some fucking podcasts. That's right. They're not out, but they made us go. We had to talk to a bunch of people about it and about what's happening and about like how much excitement it is for the area and who was cast for what, and because there's some local like news and radio and people that are actually in it. So it was there was like a little buzz and stuff. And then there's like some film festivals that we wanted to get their attention. So we had to do some of their sort of media shit and whatever. It's fun. It's really fun.
Awesome.
But I tell everyone I hate scary movies. Like I hate scary movies. Like I hate like the last one. I think I saw Carrie and Cujo.
Oh wow!
And, like Carrie was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
My babysitter made me watch it.
But that's the best way to get over a phobia or something is to just make a movie about it. Dive right into it.
Right, that's the best way to get over a phobia is make a movie about it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what Alfred Hitchcock would always say.
Oh, okay.
Like something scares me, I make a movie about it.
I'm scared. Like even just like the behind the scenes stuff, it's not fun. Like they're like, "Do you want anything to eat?" When we were like doing this test stuff, I'm like, "No, like I don't feel good here. I think you're all fucking weirdos, and I'm not happy." Like I was like, "Oh."
Well,
God.
it should be easy to act traumatic then in the movie because you are obviously
100%.
going to be traumatized.
I am going to be, and like animals die in it. I'm gonna lose my shit. I won't have to fake a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
it's the first thing where I have my clothes on though, the whole movie.
There's a camera and you're like, wait, no, I don't have to take a.
Somebody's got to take their clothes off.
And
it's a
I'm
horror
like
movie.
basic. I'm the foster mom. I'm like the little girls. I'm the unsuspecting foster mom that adopts the little, or that fosters the little girl that ends up murdering everyone. And I don't know.
She's got serial killer blood in her.
Yeah.
Yes, her dad's called the doll maker. And yeah. Oh, am I allowed to say that? I did. But anyhow, so because of her father, she is who she is, and because he gets taken to jail, she's got to go somewhere. So she goes into foster care. I take her,
and she's got to keep on family tradition.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So and I'm just a basic little like mom next door, and it's crazy.
Awesome. Looking forward.
I can't wait.
Very looking forward to it. Yes.
Avery, and it's filmed in some red, I don't know, some fancy camera. Everything's all creepy and red and all like shadowy, and it's they're purposely making it very cultish and very like they want it to look as low budget as they can. Like it's part
Yep.
of the appeal of everything they're doing. They're like, no, that graveyard looks too amazing. That's like, no, we don't want that. Like, and oh no, you can't wear that's too fashionable and that's too. They want it to look as so. Anyhow, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
More grindhouse.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, I saw that. What's that? Watchers in the Woods? Is that what it is? Where Watcher in the Woods or something? I saw that. I don't know. I saw a bunch of stupid things. Whatever. I did just see that. I did just see that Demi Moore movie. That was good.
Oh, I heard that's good.
What is that one?
Yeah.
Substance?
Yeah.
Substance. Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, yeah, that's on the list. I gotta check it out.
Mr. Skin recommends it.
Oh, well, now I know I have to watch it.
Demi Moore's naked again in it.
Is she?
Fully,
Like she hasn't been
fully, head
naked
to toe.
for 20 years. She hasn't been naked in a movie, and now she is again.
And cut.
And
I gotta go home.
She's 57. 50, or isn't she? Or 63? Or,
Something
I don't,
amazing.
She's not young. She's like older than me, but looks fucking phenomenal.
Beautiful.
And she's nude, fully nude, tons of times in it. Phenomenal looking.
All right.
It's a creepy movie, though. Anyhow. All right.
I know what I'm doing this weekend. Well, it's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much to saying yes to us. I'm not sure why, but we appreciate it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I ended up on your feed, or you ended up on mine.
Well, we had Frankie.
Said hi.
We had Frankie
Oh,
Kennedy
yeah,
on.
Frankie Kennedy on. So that's who I went to Jamaica with.
Oh, okay.
That
She was
had to have
she
been
was-
fun.
She was my roommate.
Oh, the Lord. She was a blast when we talked to her.
She's really, really fun. And
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if I'm talking out of whatever, but like she has a whole persona. Like as soon as it's like on,
Yeah.
Mhm.
she's the Naked News girls all do. They play. It is a character that you press play or go live or whatever. They're a completely different person than they are in the real world. So
And
yeah, she's awesome. She's very fun. She's very high energy. She's she's an incredible artist. She's a really great painter.
Yeah.
She does a lot of cool shit. She's just she's Frankie Kennedy. They see everyone has these cool names. I'm just Jacqui Childs. She's Frankie Kennedy. But when you travel with people, you get to know everyone's real names and their real ages and their real whatever. Because that's another thing the Naked News does. Everyone has a fake name and they have a fake age.
Bursting all my bubbles.
Sorry.
I'm done. I'm done subscribing to Naked News. No, just kidding.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
not.
not.
No.
I don't care. They can lie to me. They can
She's
lie to me
one
all
of the
they
fun
want.
ones.
I was gonna say.
They can lie to me.
I was gonna say. What? I don't care what they're lying to us about Frankie Kennedy, but she's worth. Yeah, she's worth the subscription.
She's worth
price,
it.
So.
We're good.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a subscription to Naked News?
Well, we did when we were out. Yes, for a bit. Which I think it's still going on because for a year, I think we had it.
Got to do
Check
your.
out the archives. I'm in there.
You got to do your research.
I did watch the Twister.
Was that in Jamaica just recently?
It was on the archives.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Oh, really? I didn't know that was archived already. That wasn't that long ago, or was it? Was it a year ago? I don't know.
It's hard to say.
But like, if you go back even further, like if you go
Yeah,
9 years ago, 10 years ago, that's when the good stuff is. I look so funny. Oh my god, pathetic.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Thanks.
I know we're done talking to her, but I'm gonna have to do more research.
Yeah, more research. More research.
Next time. All right. Well, thank you. This was fun.
Thank you very much.
Wait,
We appreciate it.
Wisconsin, aren't you the cheeseheads?
We are.
Is that? Oh, I love cheese.
Yeah.
There you go.
We are, and we come to your home state for our weed. So that's the trade there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
My wife's
fun.
kid. My wife has a kid who lives up in the UP, so we go visit him and make our purchases and come back home. So
Oh, fun.
yeah,
Oh, that's really
bring
fun.
some cheese with us.
Bring some cheese. I love cheese.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to go to Arizona. Actually, Canadians are not supposed to. We're supposed to say no. We're supposed to stay home. We're supposed to spend our travel dollars in Canada. We're supposed to whatever. I'm like, please, like it's fucking freezing here. I'm on my way to Arizona.
Amen. Amen.
And they got Target and Trader Joe's.
Gonna live it up.
Awesome.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Awesome.
Anyhow.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, there's been so much fun.
any you want me to share anything, talk about anything, tag me and stuff, whatever, of course. And if there's anything I can help as far as the mental health, if you have any questions, concerns, or something you want me to talk about, or I can recommend something, or
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
I
just
appreciate
reach
it.
out.
I
Yeah, that's
appreciate
awesome.
it. That's very nice.
I'll respond.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.